Hype it up, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. This is House Skill Podcast. My name is Marcel, and today my honor to welcome you to Meditation November. Welcome in, everybody. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Meditation Minute, who's today with me. And we are going to talk about meditation, and we're going to learn a lot from each other, hopefully. And I'm so excited to introduce him to you. He's just a guy who likes meditating, as he writes in his Twitch chat. He has also a blog where he posts quite a lot, and he does a lot of guided meditations on his Twitch stream. Welcome in, Tom. Welcome in Meditation Minute. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Cool. So it's my pleasure to have you here. And first of all, I like to ask you to do a little centering together with me. Not just with me, but with everybody that is in here right now, also in the chat. You're welcome to also participate. So please sit up tall wherever you're sitting right now. Connect with your feet and feel how your feet are connected to the ground. And from there, breathe in deep into your belly, into your chest. Try to sit upright as good as you can. Connecting today with each other for this wonderful podcast that we're doing here. And two bodies speaking with each other. And a lot of bodies listening in the chat or in the podcast listening. Connecting with all these bodies. Slowly come back. Open your eyes when you're ready. And I welcome you, Tom. Good. So, dear Tom, can you tell us a little bit about your journey into meditation, how you got there?
Yeah. So, my first memories of meditating are probably my grandfather, who kind of taught me a little bit about meditation, although I didn't know what it was at that point. This was when I was really young, so I don't know how much of it stuck with me, but I still remember it. And, that was my first kind of introduction, and I didn't really practice it until I got into right around the end of high school. And I was reading a book, and the topic was like, just like breathing, like the science of breathing. I don't know if that's the title, but that was kind of the message that was going across.
The science of breathing.
And, don't quote me on that, but
yeah, sure.
It's a strange book because I don't know that it was necessarily a book on meditation, but it was on kind of like rhythmic breathing and different breathing exercises. Mm-hmm. And what struck me with that was that was the idea that like you could focus on one thing, right? Breathing, for example, and that would change the rest of your life. Like you get better at other things, you calm, and that kind of resonated with me. So I kind of think that book was like kind of when I started getting more into the idea of meditation. So after I read that book, I would meditate for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That was basically the extent of my practice for a while. Mm-hmm. I was in college, maybe I did 5 minutes or 10 minutes, get kind of interested, read books here and there. And, I'd follow a lot of like motivational speakers, that kind of thing. But not a lot of spiritual stuff. It's only till I kind of really got burnt out in college. Was having trouble with studying. I've always been a pretty good student, but I felt like I kind of started slipping in college because I was trying to deal with things that were happening in my life, kind of like real life things, relationships, and that kind of thing. So eventually, I got to a point where I felt like I picked up smoking, and I was smoking a lot, and I felt really bad. But the smoking was kind of like I feel like it was a reflection of how I was feeling on the inside, like the emotional problems I was having.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had two problems at that time. It was kind of like smoking, and also I didn't know what to do. I didn't really know what to do with my life. And but I think that the smoking itself kind of instigated me to look for a solution. And the solution that I found was I was kind of like looking on the internet like most people would if they have a problem.
Yeah.
And I found out about a meditation course. And what intrigued me about that was that it was kind of like there's not a lot of strings attached. You kind of register for the course, kind of like an open registration. Like anyone's welcome to register. And they have locations in all around the world, so it seemed like a possibility. And the thing that appealed to me about it was that you couldn't bring your cell phone. You couldn't bring your cell phone, and for me, that was kind of like a godsend to get away from technology, cell phones, and computers for more than a week. And everything was free, so there was really no reason not to try it out. And I didn't find out until I actually got to the course. It was kind of quite a drive away, like 1 hour or 2 hour away. But I found out they actually teach meditation there. I didn't know that when I got into it. It's kind of funny.
Cool.
But there's a lot of meditation. Right? So that was definitely a hurdle, getting used to the schedule, the regime of meditation. But I actually kind of enjoyed it, and so from there I kind of got further and further along my practice, and kind of studied a little more, practiced a little more, and that's kind of the long and short of my meditation journey, I guess.
Cool. So the course you visited, was it Vipassana? Or...
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great.
Yeah. So Vipassana, and the website it's just dhamma.org, DHAMMA.org.
Okay. Cool.
There's lots more information.
Did you think about visiting again or like volunteering there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did volunteer there. I pretty much, so when I started, that would have been a couple, like, back in college, so maybe, say, around 2014 and 2015, I would take a course, and you can also serve at a course, like volunteer.
Yep.
So, 10 days of, yeah, you seem pretty well acquainted, but it's just like doing like kitchen work and helping out.
Great.
And I would do that kind of alternate between the two.
Good. Let's start a little bit with the meditation questions here, if you're up for it. Do you think... I mean, you answered it already a little bit like with your breath and everything. But is meditation difficult? What's your answer to that?
Meditation. Is it difficult? It can be difficult when you first start out. But there's a lot of things where if it's difficult, do it. Your life works out better, and I mean, there's situations when maybe not making it difficult is the better route. So I think you need a balance of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have. I face that all the time in practice.
Okay.
You know, if you don't want.
No, I didn't catch the last word. Sorry.
Um, yeah, just that. I guess there are things that are difficult.
Yeah.
Where if you do them, your life tends to get better. And
Okay.
there are things where you don't have to actually create. You know, you don't have to actually exert yourself that much, and your life will get better from that. Maybe
Yeah.
taking the comfortable route at times
Yeah.
is actually.
Yeah. I understand that. May I ask you, how is your relationship with like effortlessness?
Okay. Um, I think that's a good it's a good attitude to have. Like, you don't want to make extra effort. You don't want to do more effort than necessary to accomplish a task. You don't want to create suffering for yourself. Say, um,
Like that.
but at the same time, like I said, you know, um, some suffering can be good in terms of like the meditation practice. Like, you know, it's hard at first, but what you're trying to do is trying to get yourself used to um, feelings of discomfort, and you're trying to learn how to build resilience in terms of those uncomfortable feelings that may come up.
Yeah.
But oftentimes in life, uncomfortable feelings come up regardless of whether we are trying to create them. So it's just learning to be, relaxed. I think it's very important.
Okay. Good. Um, let's go on a little bit. Like, um, this is a question dear to my heart, and I still am sometimes unsure about the answer to it. So I'm not completely sure about the answer to it. And it depends. It's a it depends question, but still I want to know your thoughts about it. Is meditation dangerous? What do you think about that?
Um, yeah, I think there are hazards in meditation, um, but I feel like meditation is it's kind of like it's like a it's kind of like life, right? It's kind of like life itself,
Yeah.
kind of how I would put it.
Yeah.
And and the feeling that I get with meditation is that I feel like the mind is kind of like a chess player, and we're kind of learning to compete with the mind in some ways. And sometimes we win, and sometimes we lose. And the mind's a very good chess player, but every time we play, we get a little bit better. Kind of the way I would. Um,
Yeah.
and I would also say that meditation, uh, yeah, it's kind of like well, I guess it's. I mean, if you kind of subscribe to the Four Noble Truths,
Hmm.
basically, I mean, if there's a form of suffering that comes up, you want to find a way out of it, and that's what the Eightfold Noble Path is. It's kind of a way to, through meditation, but also through our actions and through our speech, kind of mitigate the suffering that comes up. And so, uh, if you find that meditation is not helping with suffering, you're welcome to try something else that works.
Yeah.
But I think the Buddha, the awakened one, he tried meditation. He tried a lot of things actually, and the path that he laid out is, path of morality, meditation, and wisdom, which is the Eightfold Noble Path, right? And so it's not just meditation. There's a lot of things. It's kind of like a progressive thing. So I would just put that out there. If
Yeah.
anyone has any kind of reservations about meditation, just keep that in mind.
Mhm.
That it's sort of a path that has been followed by the Buddha and a lot of people, and that this is what has worked for them, right? And so you can try it out, but definitely make a trial of it. Don't just
Sorry,
just do
definitely
it.
make what?
Make a trial, like uh, try to go as far as you can with it,
Mhm.
and I guess don't half-ass it is how I would put it. So you try your best, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if it doesn't work for you, then you can try something else.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
sure. That sounds good. Yeah. That sounds great. Um let's go on a little bit. What is your definition of meditation? I know this question is a little bit maybe big.
oh yeah. So I guess when I think of meditation, the thing that most people think about is like right mindfulness, which
Yeah.
is mindfulness meditation. So, and that's just an example of that would be like mindfulness breathing, where you are aware of the in and out breath. Yeah, and so, but what I kind of like about reading some of the scriptures is that um, the the whole idea of meditation is actually kind of a little more complicated than that's the practice of mindfulness. But I guess what the Buddha, the awakened one, how he talks about um, meditation is in terms of getting concentrated, like uh, I guess using the mindfulness practice to enter concentration. So the word isn't really. He didn't really tell like people to meditate. He told them to get concentrated, which I guess for people kind of is the same thing. You do the mindfulness practice to get concentrated. Um, so yeah, meditation is somewhere. It somehow connects all of these different ideas because in the English vocabulary, that's the word that we associate with um, sitting down and going inward, right? Um,
Okay.
but if you go in scripture, there's a lot of different threads, and so yeah, I mean, it basically amounts to the idea of sitting down and
We didn't hear the last word. I'm sorry. Sitting down and
becoming peaceful.
okay. That was important. Good. Um I have a little question here. I just want to know what you think about that. Like, is there a certain depth? Are there different depths towards different kind of meditation practices? Like, for example, mindful eating, mindful breathing. Are there kind of like different levels of like meditation, or how would you say that?
Yeah. Um, so I don't know if there's different. Yeah. Maybe that's a good way to put it. It's like there's kind of different practices. Like yeah, but it all kind of revolves around the practice of the breathing meditation. So like you mentioned, mindfulness of breathing. I mean mindfulness of eating.
Yeah.
That's something you can practice, like observing the food and how it tastes and how it goes in your mouth and where does it go after that, and looking at the food. Yeah, and like the way I kind of think about them, there's basically a constellation of practices that I feel are helpful, and the thread that kind of runs through them is that they have to do with either some sort of awareness of your own body or some sort of awareness of your mind. And there's one helpful practice that I kind of use a lot or resort to is awareness of different postures. So you can be sitting, you can be lying, you can be standing, or walking. And for me, that's kind of a way to bridge the practice between sitting meditation and the rest of everyday life. And there's a difference in depth for sure. Like there's a different kind of set of there's like a different quality to the awareness in uh, like walking meditation, for instance. Um, but it's helpful because we spend most of our life not sitting, not in sitting meditation, and it's important to be aware and relaxed and whatever posture you find yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Thank you. Thank you. So I didn't want to imply that there is a difference in kind of like different meditation practices. Not at all, right? I don't know. I seriously don't know. And yeah, I just wanted to know what you're telling.
I kind of think that there is a benchmark for meditation practices. First of all, it's if you're actually experiencing some kind of benefit for yourself, then you know, uh, probably good practice. But like I said, like if it's something to do with your body, right, or being aware of your mind, I think that's a good
Yeah. Yeah.
practice. I don't know. Yeah.
No, we didn't hear what you said, like the
Oh,
last sentence. Sorry.
oh, it's kind of a long. It's a whole can of worms. It's like when you get into meditation practices. Um, but yeah, I think just because the Buddha says that if we can, he basically says that it's awareness of your body, awareness of your sensations, awareness of your mind, or awareness of the dhammas, or kind of like principles of the mind. And these are kind of the four categories that are helpful because the reason I think he said was um, in that time people would read, they would memorize these very long scripts, Vedas, I think, and that would be called sati, right? Um, so people would judge maybe their spiritual power or value by how much they could like memorize books, right? And I think the Buddha was trying to say that, because he used the same word sati, which is memorization. He would use that to talk about mindfulness, right? And he defined mindfulness in terms of the body and the mind. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting fact.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go on a little bit. The next question. When do you know that you experience meditation?
Hmm. Yeah, I like that question. Yeah. Um, when do you know that you experience meditation?
So,
Yeah, because it's like
yeah.
sometimes we have we read about a technique or something, right? And we think like that's meditation, but then we kind of actually have to put it into practice. And it takes some time, right, to follow the technique and um, kind of get acquainted with the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
So how I would answer it, I can tell. Maybe something else comes up when I say how I would answer it, is that
Yeah,
as soon as you kind of start to experience meditation, then it's already gone. As soon as you realize, oh yeah, I'm meditating, then you're gone. Then you're not meditating anymore. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a balancing act, and then you realize, oh wow, and then oh, you're not meditating anymore. Do you see what I mean?
hmm
A little.
yeah, I see what you mean. That's kind of what I was thinking about. Like, um, actually, before the stream started, I was kind of thinking, like, just kind of thinking out loud. But what if what if you went to a forest, right? And you kind of sat down under a tree, and you kind of just maybe lean back against the tree, and you just lean back against the tree. Is that meditation?
Yeah, probably a little.
So you're not doing the instruction. You're not following the instructions for breathing. Um, you're not sitting in maybe posture. There are all these different factors which we kind of ascribe to meditation, but maybe meditation is a little more simple. And for logistical reasons, we have to define it in very specific terms.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for kind of like
The
answering that.
experience.
Yeah. Um, so I want to ask you something else right now because it just fits in so good. So let me quickly find the question. And yeah, here is the question. What do you think about people that share their own meditation experiences? Does it help or does it hinder your spiritual growth or journey?
Um, uh, like when people kind of like reflect on how their meditation felt. That.
Yeah, exactly. And they're kind of like telling, "Oh wow, I had this wonderful insight and something happened to me and now I want to maybe experience it again or something like this." I don't know. I just wanted to share this with you because this was so powerful and I want to talk to you and give this to you, you know.
I actually kind of do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, I sometimes get ideas, but it's usually not about meditation per se. Uh, yeah, because whatever you experience in meditation, that's kind of depends on the person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
But
individual. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, it's individual, and I'm kind of, I'm kind of habituated to not talking about that, and it's not. I feel like it's okay for me. I don't really talk about what I've experienced in meditation. I'm not too big on evaluating my meditation. I kind of just I do it, and while I'm meditating, I'm sort of aware maybe what's going right or what I like about it, and, maybe what I dislike about it. But yeah, I mean, my blog. If you look at my blog, it's basically like a bunch of ideas I had after meditating.
Cool. Yeah.
I get them. I feel like meditation is very good for being able to uh, kind of initiate your creative process. So maybe I'll go there. as far as how maybe sharing about your meditation. Yeah, meditation can make you more, yeah, even more extroverted, I'd say, in terms of, being able to express yourself, express
Yeah,
your emotions and things like that. Yeah.
that's so great. That's such a wonderful insight. Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree with that. Um, yeah, let's leave that question like that, and let's go on. What do you think about having goals in meditation? What's your opinion about having goals in meditation? Wonder.
You mean like trying to, um, the only goals that I can think about are maybe like trying to be really calm or
Be
trying to meditate more.
Mhm.
No, I was just saying that the goals that come to mind, in meditation are maybe, well, actually, maybe some people meditate for a reason, like they'd like to improve some aspect of their life, or maybe you want to meditate, you want to, achieve a very calm state or a very profound state, or maybe the last week, maybe you want to increase the amount of time.
the
Um,
increased amount of time with what? I'm sorry.
increase the amount of time in sitting meditation.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just off the top of my head, those are like the goals that I would kind of imagine that a person might have.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, to me, it sounds pretty good. Like, yeah, uh, yeah, you want to have goals, but um, you don't want to lose track of perhaps where you are right now. Yeah, it's a balance kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
With like, oh, what are your thoughts?
um No, no, yeah, I like your thoughts a lot. It's a balance you said. I like that a lot. Like balance between I think I think on a way like balance between maybe unconscious your unconscious mind kind of like your body and then your goal setting kind of like trusting process is it's in my opinion it's like really trusting that you're kind of on the right way and you can't really in my opinion you can't really control all the things that come up within meditation and then having a goal can be like but like for maybe some people like dangerous because they might stop meditating. Let's say stopping meditation is bad. Let's say it like this. And they kind of expect like, oh yeah, when I meditate, I get this out of meditation. I can just always reach in and get this out, right? Out of meditation. And then suddenly, no, it's not coming. I can't grab it anymore. It's not there anymore. And it's like, whoa, now what did I do wrong? And uh, meditation doesn't work for me anymore because I had this goal all the time and now it doesn't work. It's not giving me this goal anymore, or this target. I felt always calm and now I don't feel calm anymore. So doesn't work. You see what I mean there?
Yeah, yeah, that's a drop. I think that's a drawback of being too goal oriented in meditation. You don't want to be too goal oriented because um, you might burn yourself out if you're too goal oriented. Um, you can end up kind of sabotaging yourself by maybe doing too much meditation. I went through a period where, and I like meditation, and I went through a period where I didn't meditate um, very much at all, during the day. And so um, I think that was because I uh, was a little too headstrong with my meditation. And so, it was only kind of maybe about a year ago that I started to moderately introduce meditation back into my lifestyle. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a process. You kind of have to learn what balance is for you. Like what you said about the unconscious, like, uh, it's kind of like maybe aligning your actions with your thoughts. Maybe you have a projection or have a projected ideal of how things should be, and that can create a dissonance where you're actually capable of at the same time. Um, and I think the reverse is also possible. Um, Maybe your actions aren't in alignment with where your thoughts are.
Next question. What's your meditation routine and regularity?
Let me see. Yeah, I can. I have a maybe an anecdote I can relate. Um, yeah, so I went to art school, so kind of like an artist by trade, and I was in art school. Um, when I was in art school, there was a very supportive environment. I felt very able to make the art that I was doing. Um, but then things kind of happened where after I graduated, it became hard to uh, kind of sustain my practice in art. And it wasn't for a lack of effort. I was very I was very driven in terms of my art. Um, but even if you're driven, if things you can be driven, but for some reason things don't happen uh, the way you want them to necessarily. And so that was kind of a situation where I kind of had to, like you said, develop some trust that things would be okay. And so for a period of time, I spent more time meditating, and I didn't spend as much time with my art. And it was only until again recently that I started making art again, and it took a long time, but uh, yeah, I was just trusting and like the unconscious. It's kind of like maybe our thoughts about how things are don't necessarily conform to reality as it actually is. It's kind of like see things as they actually are.
Yeah. I like where you're going with like coming back to your art. So great. I'm excited for you. I'm really excited. Um yeah. Let's go on a little bit. Who should do meditation? Who should do meditation? What's your answer to that?
We should do meditation. I know a lot of people don't meditate, and um, that's fine. But I think meditation, from my own experience, um, I can honestly say that there are a lot of um, maybe difficulties, a lot of benefits, um, and I feel that uh, kind of through all the benefits and all the difficulties, that I feel like I'm in a better place than I would be if I didn't meditate.
Yeah.
So I would, recommend meditation, and it's not necessarily, sitting meditation. Kind of like, it's a lot of different things. Eightfold noble path, right speech, right action.
Yeah.
Those are also those kind of come with meditation. So that's why I feel like just by getting into this, it's not much. It's sitting a couple hours a day, maybe an hour a day. You get all these other good things that come with it. And if I didn't meditate, you know, maybe I wouldn't have all these, some of the difficulties. But where would I be? I don't know. I'm
Okay.
pretty, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. It's great. What's your meditation routine and regularity at the moment?
Uh,
Oh,
my regularity at the moment.
just going on some wind outside, so
Nice. So yeah, I'm mostly, yeah, I do. Obviously, I do sitting meditation on. I try to sit in the mornings, and I try to sit, of course. Besides that, I'm usually working, but my work schedule is kind of flexible at the moment. Uh, so I'm usually at home, and if I'm not meditating, I'm usually kind of like working on things for the stream,
mhm.
and yeah, I feel like I don't want to I don't want to make meditation seem too complicated, but um, a lot of aspects of your life can be incorporated in meditation.
A lot of aspects in your life can be what? I'm sorry.
Oh, can be incorporated
Yeah.
into
Oh,
your meditation.
okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
like yoga, for example. Uh, Yoga is kind of so. I mean, when most people think of mindfulness meditation, they think, um, but there's a whole spectrum of practices associated with mindfulness. One of the practices is kind of observing yourself as you're going about the day, doing different actions. You just know that you're doing, for instance, maybe sweeping the floor, um, streaming. Just know that you're streaming. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I try to do some sitting every day.
Cool. Yeah. So imagine a practitioner only connects with the body, kind of like only listens to the body, what's going on inside the body, and meditates like that. Or imagine a practitioner only connects to the consciousness, so like really just the mind, just the awareness without connecting at all with the body. What can happen if somebody does that? What do you think about that? Do you
Hmm.
understand it a little bit, the question?
If someone becomes, um, yeah, I think I do.
Hmm.
Yeah, like you can become maybe overly preoccupied with thinking, uh, or you can be uh, maybe a person who thinks too little, like thinks less than. Uh, yeah, that's kind of where there's kind of like different people have different like personalities
Mm-hmm.
that they bring to meditation. Uh, some people tend to be very maybe kind of like more kind of like heavy, and maybe they tend to not think as much,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps maybe even lazy. And those people benefit from a different kind of, like meditation instruction. Whereas there are people who are very um, maybe overactive thinkers, right? And they need to be maybe given a different instruction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of that's kind of how I reason it out. I feel like I fall into the second category a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
connecting a little bit more with the thoughts, with the consciousness.
Yeah, it's possible. I think that there are people who benefit more from. Uh, there's these kind of two distinctions that I kind of think are helpful, and one of them is samatha, like calmness,
Yeah.
and the other is vipassana, which means kind of like insight, right? Like seeing things maybe analytically, uh, seeing things clearly, and you definitely need both. Some people need vipassana more, whereas some people need samatha, and it kind of comes down to the personality.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see. Good. Let's go on a little. Let's talk about children or animals. Do you think are they in a natural state of meditation, or what's your opinion in that on that thought?
Uh, funny. I'd like to hear your thoughts too. Children and animals. Um, yeah, I feel like we can learn a lot from animals and children. Um, but I think about to when I was a child, I didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of maybe there's a lot of difficulties just being in childhood as well. And I mean, yeah, I feel like yeah, I feel like there's you can kind of maybe learn from children and learn from animals, but I wouldn't necessarily want to revert to like thinking like becoming like an animal necessarily. Because there's sort of a lot of pain and ignorance associated with that. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the Bible, it says you should try to be like children. But if you look at what the Buddha says sometimes, he says that you wouldn't want to be like a child. And I guess these are two different opposing viewpoints.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. We had that one. Good. Good. I wanted to ask you this one here, definitely, and we're quite already far in the time. It's pleasure to talk with you. So, dear friends in the chat, you're very welcome to ask now questions to Meditation Minute if you like to here on the stream. But I've got also another question for you. So let's go with that first, and then let's check if there are some questions for you. What did people around you think after you started to practice meditation? Did they see a change within you? Did they support you? Or maybe they judged you? What happened?
Uh, hmm. So I guess when I started, I got a lot of pushback from um, from my family, um, and yeah. So I mean, like my mom would like kind of yeah, she would like interrupt my meditations at times, but she doesn't do that as much as anymore, and it's been a long time. So I think they kind of accepted that um, part of my personality, part of my yeah. So there's pushback at first, but I think my parents are pretty supportive overall. Uh,
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Um, I like that you're so honest. Thank you with us. Thank you, Tom. Um,
Sure.
let's go on. What happens if you can't find any time for meditation? What happens within you? What happens in your life? Does everything get out of control, or what happens?
Hmm. Okay, so you are a person who doesn't meditate, and there are a lot of people who don't meditate and manage to live um, very happy lives, I would say.
Hmm.
But I would qualify that by saying that they 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 have to manage to get some quiet time themselves
Yeah, yeah. Wait a
to
moment,
be.
Tom. What happens with you? What happens if you not just in general, but I like to get to know you a little bit better. So how do you react if you don't have any meditation anymore?
Um, it's like if I were to just meditate like less and like
Yeah,
not
you
meditate
would
for a day.
completely stop. You would completely stop. What would happen in your life?
Oh, hmm. It's like a what if scenario. Yeah,
Maybe.
I'd probably be fine. I'd probably be fine. I just kind of like uh just go about my day, and yeah, everything would probably be pretty okay. I feel like at this point for me, meditation is kind of like a just kind of like a good habit that I've gotten in. Um, so like if I didn't exercise, I'd probably feel fine. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't think I would like shut down, but maybe earlier on in the practice. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. You're already very experienced, it seems to me, that you're taking this meditation within you, like take it in your day, right? So have it everywhere around you in your day. It seems like
That's
to
what I'm
me
all
as you
about.
it,
Yeah.
it se- that seems like to me like that's the case with you. That's such a great thing. Wow, man.
Yeah,
So yeah.
because I feel like a lot of the resources that are there, it's very easy to get like a specific picture of meditation. Um, which is good for because the majority of people just need to get into the practice, right? Just need to get started. Um, but then it's kind of like another thing to kind of make it part of your daily life, part of your existence. And I think that's what I kind of enjoy sharing with people.
Okay. Dear Meditation Minute, how can people find you in the internet?
Okay, so the best place you can find me is on Twitch, of course.
Okay,
And my handle is pretty simple, Meditation Minute,
great.
and you can just call me Tom. That's fine.
Cool.
And I also have a blog. You can find that at meditation-minute.blogspot.com. And yeah, I wouldn't say there's a ton of material, but I'm working on it. That's a good place to kind of get an introduction to meditation and kind of associated ideas.
Cool. Cool. Uh, thank you
Also
for.
on Marcel Stream. Also on Marcel Stream.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're in there a
time.
lot.
Yeah, I'm a regular.
Cool. Yeah,
You can
yeah,
also find me there.
yeah. You got. I guess you can come by and say hello to Tom as he is there a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Tom. So, yeah, dear Tom, it was a pleasure having you. We are heading over to the Discord very, very soon. This was House Skill Podcast, and we are presenting Meditation November. This was the second out of 4 podcasts that we're having. And next week we have a special guest, like my first yoga teacher, Salvatore Daniele. Coming. He's coming here, and he's talking about meditation. I'm excited about that. And tune in live at www.momentedyoga/twitch, available on all podcast platforms. Health Skill Podcast, we are leveling up your health skill.